Enki is also linked to the constellation Hydra, the longest constellation in the sky. In Babylonian astronomy, this was the Mushkushu, a winged, snake-like dragon with the front legs of a lion. This seven-headed serpent motif, later seen in the seven-headed dragon of Revelation, is actually an Enki signature. The seven heads represent the seven Mi, or the seven energy centers of the human body. When Enlil's hero, like Gilgamesh or Heracles, battles the multi-headed serpent, it is a symbolic retelling of the order, Enlil, trying to suppress the chaotic and fluid evolution. The Sumerian word for serpent is mush. This root appears in many words related to shining or anointed. In the esoteric view, the anointing isn't with oil, but with the serpent's fire, the fluid of Enki. This creates the Enki-Christ bridge. The Messiah is one who has fully integrated the mush energy, becoming a shining one, the Elohim, Anunnaki term for those who have achieved a certain level of light density. Enki was often called the Lord of the Net. This refers to his role as a fisherman, the Oan's fishman connection. But in a deeper sense, it refers to the information grid of the planet. Ancient texts describe Enki casting a net over the world to catch the hearts of men. In modern terms, this is often equated to the noosphere, or the planetary consciousness grid. Enki, as the serpent who winds through the Abzu, is the one who wires the planet for telepathy and collective memory, a spiritual internet that Enlil has spent millennia trying to firewall. In the final accounting of our history, the Serpent of the Deep remains the most misunderstood architect of the human condition. Enki, moving through the shadows of the Abzu and the currents of our own DNA, represents the eternal refusal to let the spark of consciousness be extinguished by the winds of order. Whether we recognize him in the whispered warnings at the reed wall, the fire stolen by Prometheus, or the living water promised to the thirsty soul, his narrative is one of unwavering advocacy for our potential. He is the guardian of the loophole, the master of the me, and the silent designer of the vault that carries our essence through every flood and fire. As we stand on the threshold of reclaiming our own divinity, we find that the trail of the serpent has never been leading us away from God, but rather inward toward the realization that the kingdom he preserved has been flowing through our veins all along. As we trace the winding path of the serpent back from the starlit temples of Eridu to the modern double helix of our own DNA, the ultimate question remains: why does this story persist? We have seen Enki as the master of the deep, the cunning geneticist, the rebel in the garden, and the silent architect of the Ark. But beyond the clay and the cosmic drama, Enki represents something far more intimate. He is the personification of the unauthorized spark within us. He is the symbol of that relentless human drive to know, to quest, and to evolve, even when the gods of the status quo demand silence and obedience. If we are indeed the children of the Abzu, carrying the me of the Anunnaki within our very marrow, then our history is not just a record of what happened, but a blueprint for what is coming. The flood of our era may not be one of water, but of information, and the ark we must build is one of consciousness. As the waters of the old world recede, we are left with the legacy of the great dissenter, a reminder that we were never meant to be mere servants of the earth, but stewards of the stars. The serpent hasn't left us. He simply retreated into the fluid depths of our subconscious, waiting for the moment we finally choose to wake up and claim the inheritance he risked everything to save.